It's been a while, but it's time for another product roast because sometimes brands just need to be told when they are being and acting or doing something stupid, right? P Louise is a brand I'm not a fan of anyway. In general, but they have a huge fan base. It's a really strange one because a lot of the time they when you see it online on TikTok predominantly, it's a lot of like middle-aged English women that are huge fans of this brand. That's not an insult, it's just a statistical fact. Nothing wrong with being middle-aged. I'm nearly there pretty much. It has a very strange following. If you were to ask me if it was a cult, I would say yes. But like cult to a point where it's like, you know, CrossFit. It's not really a cult, but it gives off cult vibes. And P Louise are known for their quite grand like product releases. We all know about their what are they called? Advent calendars and things like that. But today we're looking at the Wedding Wish Bridal series, where we have this big palette called the Big Day Extra 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 Large Palette, that's 3X's, a product that's attracted a lot of attention, not necessarily for all the right reasons. And as the name suggests, this is an enormous eyeshadow palette marketed for bridal makeup. But its sheer size and the color selection and the overall practicality of the palette itself has raised quite a few eyebrows in the beauty community. So I just want to talk about it. These are roast videos, and with like most roasts, it's made to be light-hearted, kind of funny, not too serious, right? And I also want to say, as somebody who has been a makeup artist for almost 2 decades, that sounds less than 20 years, so I say 2 decades. I don't really need to try a product unless it has a specific claim to know how eyeshadows work, the color story, or the practicality of a product. I've used thousands in my time on thousands of different faces. Okay, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at this palette, right? As I said, the palette is branded as part of the P Louise's Wedding Wish Bridal series. It is $55 and it contains an overwhelming number of eyeshadow pans, right? So according to the website, it's intended to give brides or makeup enthusiasts a full range of neutral tones to create a variety of wedding looks. On paper, listen, this sounds great. It sounds like a convenient all-in-one solution. £55 for all these eyeshadows is crazy. There are 150 pans in this palette. 150 pans for 50-something pounds? Incredible. Is it though, really? We'll talk about that in a bit. Let's talk about the size of this and the practicality of this palette. It is huge. It is massive, extremely large, so large that it looks like it would be difficult to store in like a standard makeup drawer or kit, for example. For many people, especially makeup artists want a compact solution, right? 150 shades in an eyeshadow palette that are all pretty much the same is not a compact solution. A lot of makeup artists will take pans out of palettes and put them in magnetic palettes. It's all about downsizing. So makeup artists, this palette is not for. Even if you just do wedding makeup, it's incredibly impractical. It is the size of a lot of people's body. Yes, it is crazy. And its kind of bulkiness but cheapness at the same time will make it really difficult to lay out somewhere. Let me tell you something about doing bridal makeup. When you are doing a bride's makeup, unless they're at a hotel, or even when they are at a hotel, a lot of time you don't have vanity space or a space to lay things down. I've put makeup down on a bed on top of a towel. I've even sat on the floor and had my makeup on a little table and I have to keep changing things out. So to have this multi-layer, fold out, you know, go-go gadget kind of like eyeshadow palette would be incredibly impractical. It takes up a considerable amount of space, which actually could make application like really awkward, particularly if you're getting ready, like I said, if you're getting ready in a hotel or a small room or a small dressing area. For a palette that's supposed to simplify the wedding day routine, its size actually really complicates things. Let's talk about the color story though, because it's basically 150 shades of the same shade. So each palette has 50 different shades in. It's predominantly composed of browns and beiges. At first glance, again, looks great. It seems like a very safe, bridal-friendly selection. But the execution of this kind of leaves leaves a lot to be desired, to be honest. The shades are repetitive. Many of these browns and many of these tones, again, a lot of these shades kind of look different in the pan, but actually when they're on the skin and with an underlay of skin tone, there isn't really that much need for these many different beiges and browns. Even on a wedding day, I could happily go to a wedding with 4 shades if I knew the bride and we did something, you know, and we did the trial before. 4 shades and do a whole eye look. So although at first glance, the amount of shades looks amazing, what choice? You could actually take out a big chunk of those shades and not really see a difference. But actually looking at it on a few different swatches, a few different videos, a few people showing it, they do all seem to have this yellowy kind of tone to them. Even the neutrals verge on these yellowy neutrals, these which isn't really great on a lot of people because it can come up orangey. If you have a very fair skinned bride and they want something nude and you go in using these orangey browns or these orangey nudes, these nudes with a yellowness to them, it shows up like that. It shows up yellow. Now this can look like bruising on some people. It can look ashy on some people depending on the skin tone. One thing you won't get from it though is muddiness, so that's a good thing. But you know what, even some like rosy based neutrals would be really great to allow for more of a versatile bridal look. Instead, what you get in this palette feels monotonous. It is one palette repeated, and again, a lot of the nude shades in there you probably could take away and still have the same palette. The lack of variety means that despite the size, the palette doesn't offer much beyond a single type of look: neutral, brown, yellow base. Also, I want to talk about the price, okay? So there are 150 pounds in this palette. It's priced at $55, pounds even. So if you divide 55 by 150, you get 0.36, meaning that you are paying 36 pence for each pan. You do have to bear in mind that that may not be the full price of a product, because at the end of the day, this brand have to make a profit from this. Now, I don't know much about putting products together. I don't know much about the price and things like that. However, I do know a lot of brand owners. I reached out to them and I said the same thing. I was like, can I ask you a question about price of things? I'm doing a video on a particular product, but I don't quite understand how the brand make profit from this, and, you know, are the products extremely cheap and all this? I had all these questions. Almost every single brand owner replied, is this about the P Louise palette? Because people had already asked them the same question. And these brand owners with very successful brands don't understand why they would do this. They don't understand the benefit of making a palette like this. I have always assumed that P Louise products, and this is just an assumption, are very cheap to make. They just look it. They look like, and I'm not saying they are, I'm saying they look like drop shipped products. And I think that's quite an English thing, to be honest with you. A lot of the English brands, that makeup brands, do have this whole like cheapy vibe going. I like a lot of their products, but the packaging could be better, you know what I mean? I do like the thought of having creams, shimmers, and mattes in one palette, which is just what a lot of palettes do nowadays. And I do like that you have the same shades in those different options, but again, it's to me, it just seems like a visual thing. It does not seem practical. And I do just think that sometimes quality over quantity is okay to do. I do wonder how many actual makeup artists, and I'm not talking influencers, actual makeup artists who do bridal are running out to buy this palette because it is so impractical. But it also wouldn't travel very well, right? Say a makeup artist did actually put this in their kit, or say you did have it at home on your vanity. The whiteness, the white corners are gonna all break down. They do have a nice like cover between the creams and the powder, which I thought was really nice. There is something very strange about the brand where it's very childish, but for adults. And listen, I don't mind childish. I love childish things, right? I'm currently wearing Lethal Cosmetics Adventure Time collection on my face. And in front of me, I have, you know, little hair clips, little Sanrio hair clips. I love childish aspect of things. But this is childish in a way where it's like a child has designed it. All their packaging is, it's just very, it's cheap. It looks cheap. I'm sorry. It looks cheap. And this is the thing, talking about its size again. Usually if I have a palette, sometimes I'm holding the palette and doing, you know, makeup on someone. But you would have to keep going back to this palette, maybe unfolding it, coming back. It's too much. It's not good. Even at home, how are you gonna lay it across your lap? We have to talk about the flask, the P Louise flask. One second, let me find it. Everyone was slagging off this flask, right? Slagging off, is that a broad thing? Everyone was talking shit about this flask. And in true kind of like P Louise fan fashion, the fans of a brand took to TikTok to defend it and be like, why are you why are you doing this? You're just jealous. All this kind of stuff that they do, which is really strange. Like, imagine me being a fan of a makeup brand, let's say 3CE, for example, and I saw someone bitching about it. I wouldn't get on TikTok and be like, why are you talking shit? Like, it's okay for people not to like things. You don't have to defend it with your life. And one thing you'll find in common with these videos is like the stacks of like cardboard, P Louise cardboard boxes behind them.
Do you know what I don't really understand? Why this P Louise cup is getting so much hate at the minute. I don't get it. What does it matter to you if someone is carrying a cup round like this? The kids absolutely love it. It makes them drink more water. It's fun. It's unique. I don't really get why you're slagging people off for using it. It doesn't make sense.
It's hilarious. Anyway, there was this drinks flask, which looks really, really cheap. It's a cute idea for a child. Okay, pause it right here, because you know what I realized as I was editing this video and looking at other videos? A lot of people are like, I bought this for my 12-year-old niece. My daughter loves it. My child daughter loves it. The flask says on it, bad bitch energy. So you're telling me for your niece who is 12 years old, you bought her a flask that says that she's got bad bitch energy. She's a bad bitch. Is that right? Is that normal? Listen, I don't know. I'm not a parent. If I was a parent though, I could see myself not feeling comfortable giving my 12 to 13-year-old child a flask that was insinuating they were a bad bitch or had the energy off a bad bitch, which is a great energy to have when you're old enough. But I don't know. So I asked people on Instagram, I was like, do you think, I put a poll up, do you think this is right? Would you do this as a parent? Okay, I need to ask parents out there, guardians, right? I'm just editing a video, but I just want to ask you a question. Would you let your child, and I'm talking perhaps up to 12 or 13 years old and younger, would you give them a gift that said bad bitch on it and let them walk around with it? Would you let your child, who's 13 at max, own something that they could hang around their neck or hold that said bad bitch on it? I'm not a parent, so I can't comment. To me, I wouldn't. But is bitch a bad word? You know what I mean? Bad bitch. Let me double check here. What is it? Bad bitch. What? Bad bitch. Oh, bad bitch energy. These are the results. You'll have to let me know down below if you think that this is a good gift for a child. But of course, children weren't the main buyer of it. It was women in their 30s to late 40s buying it and defend. It's such a strange cult-like mentality for a brand that looks so immature for people who are maturer in age. Not mature, I'm saying maturer in age. It's just a strange connection. Not saying that you have to like things that are mature. Like I said, I'm 36 and I love like cute things, you know? But it's just the defense that people go on for P Louise is so strange. Like, I don't understand why you feel you have to really defend this brand with your life or a product with your life. It's okay for people to hate things. And it's okay to realize that as humans, we all don't like the same thing. You could love this palette that I'm just talking about. You could love that palette. And it's okay that I don't like the idea of it. It's absolutely fine. You know, no one's dying. P Louise isn't closing down because 1 or 2 people don't like it. In fact, they even said themselves with this flask that sales were up because of it. They do very well on TikTok Shop, for example, because a lot of people can sell it and get commission and stuff like that. Maybe that's why it's a lot of, in the UK, like a lot of same age people. But even like the branding on the bottle, it just seems really cheap. It looks like a free gift with purchase that they just knocked up really quick. Listen, let me tell you something though. Oh, sorry, I really shouted then. I was just looking at my dogs. If I ever have a brand one day, which I won't because it's too much hard work, I would love to have a cult following that P Louise have, because they could sell shit in a tube and the ladies of the UK would be like, why are you talking shit about it? You're just all jealous. P Louise is doing a great job. She works so hard. So one day if I ever have a brand, I would love Sometimes P Louise do like giveaways and competitions, and you always see someone be like, oh, my daughter would love this, and you click on their profile and it's actually the adult who's like got all the stuff. Just say you like shit, it's fine. It's just a weird connection. Anyway, all right, let me know what you think of this absolutely huge monster body size palette. If it was like all different shades, I would be like, okay, that's kind of a good bargain deal. Do it. I bet they will actually. Let me know what you think down below. And especially if you're a makeup artist, would you have this in your kit, traveling around with that, laying it down on people's laps? Thank you so much for joining me. Consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.